I'm holding a Christmas invitation in my hands right now, and my fingers will not stop shaking. It has been 8 years since I heard from my mother. 8 years of silence. 8 years since the night I walked into my bedroom and found my younger brother in bed with my girlfriend. The same night my family chose his side over mine. The handwriting on this card is familiar, warm, almost loving. But something feels wrong about this invitation. Something I cannot quite place yet. And after what I just discovered about why they really want me back, I know I was right to trust that instinct. Before I tell you what happened that night and why my family suddenly wants me in their lives again, let me know where you are watching from in the comments below. Hit that like button and subscribe, because this story is going to show you that sometimes the people who hurt you the most are the ones who claim to love you. And trust me, you will want to hear how this ends, because what I found out changed everything. Let me take you back to where it all started. 8 years ago, I was 26 years old, working as a software engineer at a small startup in Portland. Life felt good. I had a solid job, a decent apartment, and a girlfriend named Emma, who I had been dating for 3 years. We met in college, stayed together through graduation, and built what I thought was a real future together. I had already bought an engagement ring. It was sitting in my desk drawer at home, waiting for the right moment. I had the whole proposal planned out. Her favorite restaurant, a walk by the waterfront, maybe some excuse to get her to look away while I got down on one knee. I thought about that ring every single day. My younger brother Dylan was 24, fresh out of college, and still living with our parents while he figured out his next move. Our family was pretty typical. My father David worked as a bank manager, strict and traditional. My mother Linda taught elementary school, gentle and soft-spoken, but always quick to defend Dylan. He was the youngest, the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. I loved my brother, I really did. But growing up, I always felt like I was standing in his shadow, even though I was the older one. Dylan had this charm, this easy way of making people love him. I was the responsible one, the one who did everything right. But somehow he always got the attention. Emma and Dylan got along well. Too well, I realize now. I thought it was great at the time. I wanted my girlfriend to fit into my family. I wanted her to feel comfortable around them. When she started mentioning Dylan more often, I did not think twice about it. "Your brother is so funny," she would say. "Dylan helped me fix my car today. Dylan recommended this great restaurant." I thought she was just being friendly, building a relationship with my family. That is what you want in a partner, right? Someone who cares about the people you love. There were signs I missed. Emma started being busy more often. Her texts became shorter, less frequent. She would cancel plans last minute, claiming she had work projects or friend emergencies. Dylan would randomly show up at my apartment when I was at work. Emma always had an explanation. He needed to borrow my laptop. He wanted advice about job applications. He was just hanging out. One afternoon, I came home early and saw Dylan's car parked in front of my building. When I walked in, Emma was sitting on the couch, Dylan next to her, both looking at his phone. They jumped apart when I entered. Dylan said he was showing her some funny videos. Emma laughed it off. I believed them. Why would I not? He was my brother. She was my girlfriend. Those were supposed to be the two people I could trust most in the world. It was a Friday night in October when everything fell apart. I had a client meeting scheduled for late afternoon, but it got canceled at the last minute. I decided to head home early, maybe surprise Emma with takeout from her favorite Thai place. I pulled into my parking spot around 7 in the evening, grabbed the food, and headed upstairs. I could see light coming from under my bedroom door. I heard music playing softly. It was Emma's favorite playlist, the one she always put on when she wanted to relax. I smiled. Maybe she had a rough day and was unwinding. Maybe I could make her night better with some surprise dinner. I opened the bedroom door. Time does this strange thing when your world is ending. It slows down. Every detail becomes painfully sharp. I saw Emma and Dylan on my bed. Their clothes were scattered across my floor. Dylan was wearing my hoodie, the navy blue one I wore constantly. They were so caught up in each other that they did not hear me open the door. For maybe 3 seconds, they did not realize I was standing there. Those 3 seconds felt like hours. Then Emma screamed. Dylan jumped up, scrambling to pull his jeans on his face, turning red. I just stood there. I did not yell. I did not cry. I could not move. My body felt numb, like I was watching this happen to someone else. This could not be real. This could not be happening in my bedroom, in my bed with my brother and the woman I was planning to marry. It just happened. Emma was crying, pulling the sheet around herself. I am so sorry. We did not mean for this to happen. Dylan was trying to button his jeans with shaking hands. Bro, we did not plan this, I swear. How long? My voice came out flat, emotionless. I did not recognize it as my own. Emma went silent. She looked at Dylan. He looked at the floor. How long? I repeated. Dylan finally spoke. 6 months. 6 months. Half a year. While I was planning our engagement, saving money for a ring, imagining our wedding, Emma had been sleeping with my brother for 6 months. While I was working late to secure our future, while I was dreaming about the life we would build together, she was with him. In my home. In my bed. I looked at the engagement ring sitting on my nightstand where I had left it that morning, planning to take it to get resized. Dylan followed my gaze. His eyes widened when he saw the ring box. It is not like you two were married, man, Dylan said. That sentence hit me harder than anything else. Not married. As if that made it okay. As if 3 years together meant nothing. As if planning a future meant nothing. As if being brothers meant nothing. Get out, I said quietly. Both of you. Get out of my apartment right now. Emma started crying harder. Reed, please, we can talk about this. Dylan tried to step toward me. Bro, let us just calm down and discuss this like adults. I opened the bedroom door wider and pointed toward the hallway. Get out? They left. Emma was still crying, trying to grab my arm as she passed. Dylan kept looking back, his mouth opening and closing like he wanted to say something but could not find the words. I closed the door behind them. Locked it. And then I just stood there in my bedroom, surrounded by evidence of their betrayal, and felt absolutely nothing. The numbness was almost worse than pain would have been. At least pain meant you could still feel something. I did not sleep that night. I sat on my couch, staring at the wall, trying to process what had happened. By the time the sun came up, I knew I needed to tell my parents. They deserved to know what their son had done. I called my mother around 8 in the morning. Mom, I need to tell you something, I said when she answered. Something happened last night. I told her everything. My voice shook as I described walking into my bedroom and finding them together. I expected shock. I expected anger on my behalf. I expected my mother to be horrified that her youngest son would do something like this to his own brother. Instead, there was a long silence. Reed, honey, are you sure? Maybe you misunderstood what you saw? I felt like I had been slapped. Misunderstood, Mom. They were in my bed. In my bed. There is no misunderstanding that. Dylan came home last night, she said slowly. He is very upset. He said you overreacted. Overreacted. That word echoed in my head. How do you overreact to finding your brother sleeping with your girlfriend? How is asking them to leave overreacting? He said you threatened him? My mother continued. He said you scared Emma. Reed, that is not like you. What really happened? I did not threaten anyone. I told them to leave my apartment. That is it. Your father wants everyone to come to dinner on Sunday, she said. We need to talk about this as a family. Can you be here? I agreed, thinking maybe face to face they would understand. Maybe once I explained everything calmly, they would see how wrong this was. I spent the next 2 days preparing what I would say. I practiced staying calm, keeping my emotions in check. I would be rational. I would explain the facts. They would have to see the truth. Sunday arrived. I drove to my parents' house in the suburbs, the same house I grew up in. I walked through the door and stopped cold. My father was sitting in the living room. My mother was in the kitchen. Dylan was on the couch, and Emma was sitting next to him. Why is she here? I looked at my parents in disbelief. Everyone involved needs to be here, my father said in his stern bank manager voice. Sit down, Reed. We gathered around the dining room table. My mother had set out food, like this was a normal family dinner. Nobody was eating. The tension in the room was suffocating. Reed Dillon told us his version of what happened, my father began. Now we want to hear yours. But before I could speak, Dillon started talking. He told them I had been distant with Emma for months, that I was always working, never making time for her, that Emma had been lonely, and he was just being a good friend, someone she could talk to. He said their feelings developed naturally over time. He made it sound like some beautiful, tragic love story. Then he claimed that when I came home and found them, I attacked him, that I threatened both of them, that I was violent and out of control. That is a lie, I interrupted. I never touched him. I told them to leave. That is all I did. Dylan's face crumpled. He looked at our parents with tears in his eyes. You saw how he looked at me, Mom. He wanted to kill me. I have never been so scared in my life. Emma nodded, crying. Reed, you changed. You were not the guy I fell in love with anymore. You were always at work, always stressed. Dylan was there for me when you were not. I stared at her. We were together for 3 years. I was working hard to build us a future. I was planning to propose to you. I had a ring. My mother put her hand on Emma's shoulder. Sometimes these things happen, sweetheart. People grow apart. Feelings change. But what I am concerned about is your reaction, my father said, looking at me. Dylan says you were violent. That behavior is unacceptable, Reed. You are the older brother. You should know better. I could not believe what I was hearing. I never laid a hand on him. I asked them to leave my apartment after finding them in my bed. How is that violent? You looked like you wanted to kill me, Dylan repeated, his voice shaking. Bro, I know I messed up, but you scared me. My father leaned forward. You need to control your anger, Reed. This is serious. We did not raise you to be violent. I felt like I was in a courtroom being tried for a crime I did not commit. My own family was treating me like the villain in this story. The actual betrayal, the actual violation of trust, seemed to matter less than Dylan's claim that I had looked angry. Of course I looked angry. Anyone would be angry. But I had not been violent. I had not even raised my voice until they refused to leave. Here is what is going to happen. My father announced like he was chairing a board meeting. Dylan and Emma have developed real feelings for each other. They are young. They made a mistake in how they handled this, but love is complicated. My mother nodded. We need to support them, Reed. They did not mean to hurt you. Support them. I looked around the table. He is my brother. She was my girlfriend. They betrayed me for 6 months. And you want me to support them? You need to respect their relationship going forward, my father said. Dylan reached across the table and took Emma's hand. Right there, in front of me, in front of our parents. My mother smiled at them sadly, like they were star-crossed lovers in some romantic tragedy. I stood up. My chair scraped against the floor. You are choosing him over me. You are actually choosing him. We are not choosing anyone, my mother said quickly. We love you both. Then why does it feel like I am the one being punished? Here I am the one who got cheated on. I am the one who got lied to. But somehow I am the bad guy. Do not be dramatic, my father said. We are trying to move forward as a family. That requires everyone to be mature about this. I looked at Dylan. He would not meet my eyes. I looked at Emma. She was crying again, but I felt nothing for her now. I looked at my parents. They wanted me to just accept this, to smile and nod, and watch my brother date my ex-girlfriend and pretend everything was fine. If you choose to support this, I said slowly, then you are choosing him over me. You are making that choice right now. Reed, please, my mother stood up. He is your brother. Family is family. No, I said. A brother does not do what he did. And a family does not do what you are doing right now. I started walking toward the door. My father stood up. If you walk out of here with this attitude, do not come back until you can be civil about this situation. I turned around. Civil? You want me to be civil? You want me to sit at Thanksgiving dinner and watch them hold hands? You want me to smile at Christmas while they kiss under the mistletoe? You want me to be happy for them? We want you to be an adult, my father said coldly. Then I guess we want different things. I opened the front door. If you need me to apologize to Dylan for being upset that he slept with my girlfriend, then you do not know me at all. And I do not think I know you either. My mother rushed forward. Reed, do not do this. Do not throw away your family over this. I am not throwing anything away, Mom. You already did that when you took his side. I walked out, got in my car, drove away. In my rearview mirror, I could see my mother standing in the doorway, my father behind her with his arms crossed. Dylan and Emma had come to the window. They were watching me leave. That was the last time I saw them for 8 years. The weeks after were brutal. My mother called a few times. I did not answer. My father sent an email with the subject line, "We need to talk." The message said he expected an apology to Dylan before we could have any relationship. I did not respond. I blocked their numbers. I deleted them from social media. When Dylan and Emma made their relationship official on Facebook 2 weeks later, mutual friends started asking me what happened. I told them the truth. Some believed me. Most thought there had to be more to the story. How could a family just cut someone off like that? There must have been something else going on. There was not. There was just a family who valued peace over justice, who valued their golden child over their older son, who decided that asking me to swallow my pain was easier than holding Dylan accountable for his actions. I moved to Seattle 3 months later. New city, new job, new life. I got a position at Microsoft as a senior software engineer. I made new friends who did not know my history. I started therapy. I worked on myself. I built a life where my family did not exist, because in every way that mattered, they did not. I did not spend holidays with them. I did not call on birthdays. I did not send cards or emails or any sign that I was thinking about them. And slowly, painfully, I learned to be okay with that. 8 years passed. I rebuilt myself piece by piece. I found happiness again. I met someone new. And then that invitation arrived, and suddenly all those carefully buried feelings came rushing back to the surface. I am 34 years old now. My apartment in Seattle overlooks Puget Sound. On clear days, I can see the mountains in the distance. I've worked my way up to a senior position at Microsoft. The job pays well. I have a good life. More importantly, I have a peaceful life. 2 years ago, I met Sophia at an art gallery opening. She is an independent artist, the kind of person who sees the world differently than most people. When I told her about my family on our 3rd date, she did not judge me. She did not tell me I should forgive them, or that family is family. She just listened. Then she said, "You deserved better than that." Those 4 words meant more to me than she will ever know. Sophia and I have been together ever since. She has met my friends. She knows my colleagues. She is part of my life in a way Emma never really was. With Emma, I was always trying to prove something to be enough. With Sophia, I can just be myself. She does not need me to be anything other than who I am. I had not thought about my family in months when the invitation arrived. It was a Monday in early December. I came home from work, checked my mailbox, and there it was. A red envelope with my mother's handwriting. My hands started shaking before I even opened it. The card inside had a winter scene on the front, snow-covered pine trees, a warm cabin with smoke rising from the chimney. Inside, my mother had written in her careful script, "Dear Reed, it has been too long. We would love to have you home for Christmas dinner. Please come. We miss you. Love, Mom." That was it. No mention of the last 8 years, no acknowledgement of what had happened, no apology, just an invitation as casual as if we had seen each other last week. I threw it in the trash, but an hour later I pulled it back out. I sat on my couch, staring at those words. We miss you. Did they really? Or did they just miss the idea of me? The fantasy of a complete family. Sophia came over that evening. She found me still sitting there, the card in my hands. "What does your heart say?" she asked gently. "My heart says they do not deserve a response," I told her. "But part of me wants to know why. Why now? Why, after 8 years of silence? Maybe you should call her," Sophia suggested. "Maybe you need to hear what she has to say." So I did. I picked up my phone and dialed my mother's number for the first time in 8 years. She answered on the second ring. Reed. Her voice was bright with surprise and hope. "Oh, honey, I am so glad you called. I was hoping you would." "Why now, Mom? 8 years. 8 years of nothing, and suddenly you want me at Christmas?" "We have been thinking about you," she said. "You are still our son, Reed. We love you. I stopped being your son when you chose Dylan over me. That is not fair. We never chose anyone. We just wanted peace in the family. Peace for who I asked, because it was not peace for me. I was the one who lost everything." She was quiet for a moment. "Please, Reed. Your father has been thinking about family a lot lately. We are getting older. We want to fix this. Dylan wants to see you too." The mention of Dylan made my stomach turn. "Is Emma going to be there?" Another pause. Longer this time. "Well, yes. She and Dylan are engaged now, Reed. We thought you should know, and we hoped maybe you could be happy for them. Engaged." The word felt like a punch to the chest. After everything, after ruining my relationship, my family, my trust, they were getting married. And my mother wanted me to be happy for them. "I see," I said quietly. "Reed, please. We miss you. We want you home for Christmas. Can you think about it?" "I will think about it." I lied. Then I hung up. But I could not stop thinking about it. Something felt wrong. After 8 years of silence, why would they suddenly want me back? Why now? My instincts, the same ones I used in my work to debug software and find problems in code, were telling me there was more to this story. I started searching online. Dylan's Facebook profile was still public. I scrolled through his recent posts. There were lots of pictures with Emma, lots of posts about family is everything, and blood is thicker than water. The kind of posts people make when they are trying to convince themselves of something. I checked his LinkedIn. Dylan had bounced around jobs for the past 8 years. 5 different positions in 8 years. His most recent post was from 6 months ago, excited for new opportunities. After that, nothing. I called Marcus, an old friend from Portland, who I still kept in touch with. Marcus had always been neutral during the fallout. He stayed friends with me, but did not cut off my family either. If anyone would know what was really going on, it would be him. "Man, I was wondering when you would call," Marcus said when he picked up. "You heard about Dylan, heard what his startup failed. Big time. He convinced your parents to invest their retirement savings. $200,000. The whole thing went under in less than a year." My stomach dropped. What Marcus kept talking. "Dylan is in serious debt. Emma wants a big wedding, but he has no money. Your parents lost most of their savings. Your dad had a heart procedure last year too. Medical bills on top of everything else. They are in bad shape financially, Reed. I felt cold. How do you know all this? Dylan started a GoFundMe to try to save your parents' house. It did not raise much. He shut it down after a few weeks. I found the GoFundMe page. It was closed, but I could still read the description. Please help save my parents' home. Due to unexpected financial hardship, it was all there in black and white. Everything suddenly made sense. They did not want me back because they missed me. They did not want me back because they realized they were wrong. They wanted me back because they needed me. Because I had the stable job, the good income. Because I was the responsible one who could fix their problems. I sat with this information for 2 weeks. I was angry, but I was also sad. Sad that even now, even after 8 years, I was still just a tool to them. A backup plan. The reliable son they could call when the golden child failed. But I also realized something else. I had spent 8 years wondering if I had done the right thing by walking away. Wondering if I was too harsh, too unforgiving. This answered that question. They had not changed. They still saw me the same way. I am going to that Christmas dinner, I told Sophia. She looked surprised. Really not for them. For me. I need to close this chapter on my terms. I need to walk away knowing I said everything I needed to say. The drive to Portland on Christmas morning felt surreal. I had not been back to this city in 8 years. Everything looked the same but felt different. I pulled up to my parents' house at noon. The same house I grew up in. The same driveway where I learned to ride a bike. The same porch where I took prom pictures. I rang the doorbell. My mother opened it. She looked older. Her hair had more gray. There were lines around her eyes that were not there before. "Oh, Reed," she said, pulling me into a hug. "You came. I am so glad you came." My father appeared behind her. "Son," he said with a nod. Just that one word. Son. I walked into the living room. Dylan was sitting on the couch. He stood up when he saw me. "Hey, bro." He looked tired, older. The easy charm he used to have seemed faded. Emma was next to him. She had gained weight. She looked unhappy. She gave me a small wave from across the room. We sat down for dinner. My mother had made all the traditional dishes: turkey, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole. Everything smelled like childhood, but the atmosphere was strained. Everyone was too polite, too careful. "So, Reed," my mother said brightly, "tell us about Seattle. How is work?" "It is good," I said. "I like my job. The city is nice." "We heard you are doing very well at Microsoft," my father said. "Senior engineer now?" "Yes." "That is wonderful," my mother said. "We are so proud of you." The conversation continued like this, surface level, avoiding anything real. Finally, after the main course, my father cleared his throat. "Reed, we are glad you are here. There is something we wanted to talk to you about. Let me stop you right there, Dad." Everyone looked at me. "I know why you invited me. Marcus told me about Dylan's startup, about the money you lost, about the medical bills." Silence. "Reed, that is not my mother started. Mom, please." I held up my hand. "Let us not pretend anymore. 8 years. 8 years you did not call. 8 years you did not care if I was alive or dead. And now suddenly you miss me. Now you want me home for Christmas?" "That is not fair, man," Dylan said. "You are the one who left." "Dylan," I said calmly, "I am going to say this once. You slept with my girlfriend. For 6 months. In my home. In my bed. And when I found out our parents took your side, they called me dramatic. They told me to apologize to you." Emma started crying. Dylan looked down at his plate. I continued. "I built a life without you. A good life. I have a woman who loves me and respects me. I have friends who have my back. I have a career I am proud of. I did all of that without any of you. Reed, we know we made mistakes, my father said. Mistakes, Dad. You told me not to come back unless I apologized. I never apologized because I had nothing to apologize for. You discarded me to protect your golden child. And now that he has failed, now that you need help, you think you can just invite me back, like nothing happened. My mother was crying now. We are family, Reed. No, Mom, I said softly but firmly. Family does not do what you did. Family does not abandon each other when it is inconvenient. Family does not choose sides when one person is clearly wrong. I stood up. I came here today, not because I forgive you. I came to tell you that I am okay, that I survived, that I do not need you anymore. I looked at Dylan. I hope you and Emma are happy. I genuinely do. But that happiness cost me my family, and I am not going to pretend it did not. I turned to my parents. If you ever want a real relationship with me, it starts with accountability. It starts with acknowledging what you did was wrong, not excusing it, not minimizing it, actually owning it. But until then, I am going to keep living my life, a life where I am valued, where I am respected, where I am not a backup plan. I walked toward the door. My mother stood up. Reed, please. Do not go like this. It is Christmas. I turned back one last time. Merry Christmas, Mom. I walked out, got in my car, and drove back to Seattle. The whole drive I felt lighter than I had in years. Not angry anymore. Not hurt. Just free. Free from the weight of wondering if I had done the right thing. Free from the guilt of cutting them off. Free from the hope that maybe someday they would understand. When I got home, Sophia was waiting with hot chocolate. She did not ask how it went. She just hugged me. After a while, I told her everything. I am proud of you, she said. And I realized something. I did not need them to accept me. I did not need their approval or their apology. I just needed to accept myself, to know that I had done the right thing, that I had protected myself when no one else would, that I had built a life worth living even without them. A few months after Christmas, I got an email from my mother. It was not quite an apology. There were still excuses woven through it, but it was something, a small acknowledgement that maybe they had not handled things well, that maybe they should have listened to me, that maybe they had been wrong. I wrote back. A short, polite response. I did not commit to anything. I did not promise to visit or call. I just acknowledged that I had received her message. The truth is, I do not know if I will ever have a real relationship with my family again. Maybe someday my parents will truly understand what they did. Maybe they will give me the real apology I deserve. Maybe we will rebuild something new. Or maybe we will not. And I have made peace with that. Because here is what I learned through all of this. Family is not just about blood. It is about who shows up for you, who stands by you when things are hard, who values you not for what you can do for them, but for who you are. My family failed that test, but the family I chose, the friends I made, the woman I loved, they passed it with flying colors. Walking away from my family was not giving up. It was choosing myself. It was refusing to accept being treated as less than I deserved. It was drawing a boundary and actually enforcing it even when it cost me everything. They wanted me back when it was convenient for them, when they needed something. But I am not a backup plan. Not anymore. Not for anyone. That Christmas dinner was the last time I saw them. Maybe one day I will hear from them again. Maybe they will finally understand what they did. But I am not holding my breath. I am not waiting for that day. I am too busy living the life I built, the life I fought for, the life I deserve. And honestly, I have never been happier. So let me ask you this. Have you ever had to walk away from family? Have you ever been in a situation where the people who were supposed to love you chose someone else? Instead, drop your story in the comments below. And if this resonated with you, hit that like button. Subscribe to hear more stories like this. Share this with someone who needs to hear that it is okay to choose yourself. It is okay to walk away. It is okay to build your own family. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps someone out there who is struggling with the same choice I had to make. Remember, you deserve people in your life who value you, who respect you, who show up for you. And if your family cannot be that, then find people who can. Take care of yourselves out there. And remember, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away.